Welcome everyone to episode 75 of This Week in Geek. We are 15 episodes away from the big episode 100. Don't ask me what we're going to do there because I have no idea. We're 2 episodes away, ladies and gentlemen, from meeting face to face. From only there being one window for one show only, a one window show. 3 weeks from now. We'll get into that later in the show. However you're finding us, whenever you're finding us, thank you so much for joining the show, whether you're watching live, on the repeat, or listening to us on Spotify if you're in the commute, on your gym time. Thank you so much for joining us. And in case you're new to the show, in case you don't know how This Week in Geek works, we have 3 segments on the show. That's when myself, my co-host Zach, we go through everything we watched this past week and rank it from the worst to the best. We then go into our main topic of the show. That's the topic you see on the thumbnail. That's the topic you see on the title. That's the topic you see an image of on my community tab for the 3rd segment of the show where you ask your great questions. We have some great questions today, and of course, we can't promise that we can make through all of them, but if you want to guarantee your question is answered and is answered immediately, consider using the tip link in the description or the super chat feature, because you'll be supporting the show. The more people are watching, the more people are supporting, the bigger the show can get, and we can make these live shows a regular thing if you want to get us there. So without any further ado, I'm going to get us started on my weekly ranking. I watched 3 movies this week and 1 show, and in last place, I'm sorry to say, well, I know you liked it, Zach, but I'm not sure like the reception in general. But I finally saw the new version of The Color Purple, and I thought it was okay. I thought it had a lot of artifice to it, but it's intended to have this artifice to it. But at the same time, it's dealing with abusive relationships, segregation, race, a very specific.
So can I ask you something?
Yeah.
So I've never seen the original.
Me neither.
Never seen the original. Oh, okay. So everyone
my review on Letterboxd was, I hope the original is better.
Okay, so everyone I have talked to says the original deals with all those moments so much better, so much stronger, and they're like, we appreciate the musical for what it is, but the original has the better depth of all those. And I'm like, okay. Because that's my one issue with it. Is sometimes it steers away from it tonally, but no.
I also don't think any of the songs were like great. Like they're
really?
They're toe tapping,
like
they're head bopping, they're good, fun. But like I didn't finish the film. I was like, oh, I gotta go to that song.
What do you think of the performances? Like Danielle Brooks?
Performances are really good. Like, even addressing all the issues I just did with the tone and all of that, like everyone is playing it very believably. From when someone is, slapping their wife around, which you shouldn't do, and immediately the wife starts singing, and there's this whole pantomime and pomp and circumstance to it all, and it just didn't fix. But everyone plays it very well. Like even the main girl, Celie. Like, there's a younger version, and there's an older version, Fantasia. Watching the trailer, and even watching and if I hadn't, like, seen some interviews and heard people talk about it since it came out over there, I wouldn't have been like, oh, these are 2 different people. No, I thought they were the same people. So for all I know, like, the trailer, when it came out, it only showed the younger Celie and the younger Haley Bailey, the younger Haley Bailey, who then turns out to be Ciara. And I was like, that's Ciara? She's 50?
Okay,
Holy
so this
shit.
is how dumb I am. So Fantasia is a huge singer. Did you know that? Like, she's
no idea.
Yeah, she's a huge singer. And when we were at that award show, Cynthia sees her walking. She goes, oh my fucking God, that's Fantasia. And I'm like, who?
And you're like, who?
I'm like, yeah, it's
the girl Disney movie?
I was like, that's the girl from The Color Purple. And she goes, no. She goes, that's like a huge singer. I was like, oh. So
it's kind of funny. That's what I've been learning with Renee Rapp. Because I saw Renee Rapp in
I didn't know
Girls.
That.
I fell in love. Yeah. And now I'm like, oh, Renee Rapp from Mean Girls. And I have a ton of people like, no, Renee Rapp is like a huge singer. She has a song with like Megan Thee Stallion, who, I guarantee you, if I saw her walking in front of me on the street, I would know that's Megan Thee Stallion. Like, I know the name. If you tell me that's the person, I'll be like, cool. But right now, I couldn't recognize her walking the street.
I heard off topic. I heard Megan Thee Stallion do a '90s rap. They had her do a '90s rap on some like radio station, and I was like, "Girl," I'm like, "Holy shit! Why are you making this other music? You should be making like throwbacks to like '90s."
Why it's working with She-Hulk?
You know, because why not? Money.
Give him any money? What?
Yeah, money.
All right, so that's the color purple, which I will say I still went positive on it. I went right down the middle. Like it's either way. I enjoyed it. I think it's fine, but not too much. What I really enjoyed, and I never thought I'd like it more than a lot of things, but definitely not more than the color purple, which is like an awards contender, sort of. The Beekeeper, David Ayer's new film. I watched it. It's really fun. It's a classic lone wolf goes out in search of justice. They establish who are the scum of the earth, the baddest of the bad guys. You want to see those people ripped to shreds. And so the bulk of the film is just allowing Jason Statham to rip everyone to shreds. And it's super fun. It's filled with all the B puns. It's got this sort of, you remember the classic 90s grounded action movies. That's what this film is. It's just made today. I had a ton of fun with this. I think Statham is on his A game. I think this is a better Guy Ritchie movie than a lot of the recent Guy Ritchie movies. Like ever since The Gentleman, Wrath of Man, I didn't care for. What's the other one? Ruse de Guerre, Operation Fortune.
Dude, I love Wrath of Man. I love Wrath of Man.
See, I
also
thought it
did
was
The Covenant,
really
which I was not huge on The Covenant.
But I haven't seen The Covenant. I just saw you on a video talk about how you were one of the few people that did not like it. I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that one or the Gerard Butler one that's like similar to it. It's like one of those twin movies. But The Beekeeper I thought was really fun. On top of that, The Ted Show is really fucking good. I'm really surprised.
Did you finish?
I finished. Yeah.
Okay. The Halloween episode, dude. That when he's playing billiards and the guy walks out, I fucking died.
That's the guy from WandaVision too, which made it even funnier. That's the guy who was supposed to be Ultron. My theory video is still up, and it's still very good. Still better than anything we've gotten on the conclusion of that show, I mean. So yeah, The Ted Show is really, really good. It's got a lot of heart. It's genuinely really funny. The characters are all great. I really like the Blair character. As soon as she comes in, I'm like, this is the character that's going to bring the show down.
Yep, and I thought the same.
And she sort of did only because I feel the dialogue that is given to her is very 2010s, 2020s teenage dialogue. It's not 90s dialogue. She is a great character. She's the character that's like, oh, you can say this stuff. Like it's the 90s. You gotta be more forward, blah, blah, blah. And that mentality, when you insert a character with that mentality, you're like, oh, they're going to drag the show down. But no, she has a great arc. She has all these interesting faults, all these interesting virtues about her. It's just the dialogue itself that's like, I don't feel a character in the 90s would communicate these ideas, these points of views, this specific way. But the character herself is.
Do you remember what she's from? Do you know what she's from?
I remember that, yes, she's in the Orville, but she is the kid from season 2 of The Punisher.
Yeah,
the kid that runs away from the cult.
I haven't seen the Orville, but I was like, oh, that's the girl. I always wondered where she went, because I was like, she was pretty good in that season.
I didn't even remember when I saw that she was like in The Punisher. I'm like, oh, she's, because I didn't even have one of those moments where it's like, I know this person from somewhere. Like usually that happens. That didn't happen here. But when I went to her IMDb credits, I remember her episode in the Orville. I remember her episode in the Orville is actually one of the better ones too. And then I was just like, oh, that's right, the plot of season 2 of The Punisher. But like, I still can't place her in the show apart from like literally seeing pictures.
We need a season
100%. ASAP too.
They're gonna do
on top of On top of that, my number one of the week is the original Ted. I think it's really funny. I think it loses a lot of steam once he gets taken by Giovanni Ribisi. I think one of the biggest mistakes of the sequel, which I haven't rewatched, I'm going to rewatch it today, is at least bringing Donnie back again as the main villain. I think they could have had him in the movie, but that's a discussion on Ted too. But yeah, number
We'll
one,
talk about it
the
next
original Ted.
because you're gonna watch it.
Yeah,
this
exactly,
week.
exactly. Still a really great movie. All right, what's up, Zach? What do you have?
I love your list. Ted's amazing.
Thank you
I
very
think
much.
I talked about it last week because I ranked it. So, I watched a lot. I'm kind of trying to go for a movie a day. So sometimes I'll bulk watch stuff on slower days. But you'll notice I watch a lot of comedies because they're shorter. Anyways, coming in last place is Little Fockers. This is not great. It's got its funny moments to it, but it's the shortest one. It doesn't really have like any depth to the characters, and it's just there. Up next is Burnt. This is a Bradley Cooper cooking film. I watched this long ago, and I liked it, and I still like it. It's not great. It's very surface level, but Bradley Cooper's good in it. I remember back in the day, though, I only went to see this because of Alicia Vikander, and she's in the movie for 2 scenes, and I was so disappointed.
I don't even remember her being in the movie.
She plays the famous chef he used to work for. That's his daughter, and they were like drug addicts together. So that's what it was. After that, everything I watched this week is pretty damn great. So coming up next is this short film, Polo Loco. It's like 28 minutes. The reason I watched it is the streamer that I watch, he made it, and he finally put it up for free, and it's actually really good. I was actually kind of surprised by it, to be honest. Like, a streamer making a show. Oh, this is great. The lead that he got is great, awesome. So,
well, you saw my short when I made my short.
Yes,
my short.
And I loved your short. I love you. I would have ranked it on here if we were doing this.
I'll put it on Vimeo, so next week you're like, it holds up.
Yes.
5 years later.
Hey man, it will. Have you watched it? Have you gone back and ever looked at it?
I moved it around like from hard drives to my computer, like to make new copies, but I don't think I've actually watched it all the way through. We should probably watch it when I'm over there.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm down. Up next, I have the Friends reunion. I finished the show again. I might as well watch the Friends reunion.
You had watched it, right? When it came?
Yeah, I had watched it before. So it's just now my tradition is every time I finish the show, which I usually finish it twice a year, because it's just that show I put on when we go to bed. So yeah. Next up, this is tough.
Tell me.
This is really
I'll
tough.
help you out.
So I watched 3 Will Ferrell movies, but
okay.
Up next is the first Anchorman. I love this movie, but up next after that is Anchorman 2. I think it's funnier. I laughed way harder this time around. I think Anchorman 1 has its moments.
It's a Ted and Ted 2 sort of situation.
Exactly. Anchorman 2's story is not great. It's the same thing with Ted 2. Not great story, but the humor is way better. And I think Anchorman 2 is kind of the same way. Like, I found myself laughing way harder at a lot of the jokes. Where in the first Anchorman, I think at the time, it's like I didn't grow up during that time. So Anchorman 2 is a little bit closer to what I can understand. So, but I hadn't watched it since the theaters, and it's so fucking funny. And at my number 2 for the week, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. I had not watched this honestly in probably 15 years. This movie,
Nolan's favorite movie.
Yes, and I kind of get why.
I have never seen it in full.
Okay, so flat out, I've always thought it was dumb. And I enjoyed moments, but I remember watching it back in the day, and I'm like, this movie is slow. Like, the second he has his injury, I'm like, what is going on here? And then I rewatched it, and something just clicked. And I don't know if it's the fact that we don't have more comedies like this nowadays, or the fact that we just don't have comedies. But I laughed my ass off. I laughed my ass off, and it was incredible. So,
I have to watch it because I've never seen it in full.
You should. And my number 1 for the year or for this week is Ted. The
The
show.
original.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
the
the
show.
show. Yeah, I watched the show
Okay.
again. I thought it was hilarious,
Okay.
so
Nice.
I want to watch it
All
again.
right. Now, let's go into your weekly rankings in the live chat. Eric Thorpe starts us off with number 1, The Suicide Squad. Number 2, True Detective, the new season, which I still need to start watching. Number 4, Good Will Hunting. Number 5, The Rounders, which I've never seen. I know what it is, but I've never seen it. Number 6, Wonka. Number 8, May December. And number 9, Echo. Eric Thorpe continues. It's just he likes his ranking so much, he shared it again. Give me just 1 second, everyone. All right. Nathan Madigan, number 4, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Number 3, Maestro. Number 2, Patton, which I've never seen. I need to give that a watch. And number 1, The Lion King, which 99.9% of the time it will always end up at number 1 for most people, I think. Jiko EP. Number 8, Echo. Number 7, Dream Scenario. Number 6, Ted. 2020. Okay, the show. I was like 2014. Ted came out in 2012. Yeah, so the show. Number 5, One Piece live action. You've converted someone to the live action One Piece, Zach, or at least I want to believe it was you. Number 4, Society of the Snow. Number 3, The Curse with Emma Stone. Number 2, Mean Girls 2004. Number 1, Blue Eye Samurai, which I
want to
haven't
watch
started.
that.
I'm curious too.
I want to watch
did you
The
hear?
Curse. No, sorry, I had to go grab something.
You've converted Jigo P to watch the live action One Piece, or at least I want to believe it
and
was
it's
you
incredible.
and no one else.
It's incredible.
He only has not converted me. No one has converted me.
No. Because I always try to
I don't
convert
care
you,
for the original,
and then things get canceled. So,
hey, that's not true. That's not
Dark
true.
Crystal's your
That's,
fault.
You did no. Dark Crystal is not part of this conversation, sir. You did not need to convert me to Dark Crystal. I failed myself.
But you still have not watched it.
And eventually I failed the entire world. I still haven't watched because it's not going to have a second season. Now
It doesn't, but
why should
genuinely
I watch
it doesn't need one. It doesn't need,
okay, it has an ending.
It has an end. It basically leads into the movie, I would say. Like there's enough there that I was like, oh, you could have done another season, but you didn't need to. I just give you shit. So
I know.
You know what's funny though? My favorite thing I watched this week, I can't talk about till next week. So
ooh,
it's the thing me and Leo have been talking about.
Dominic Scott, number 5, Chicago Med. Number 9, Ninja Scroll. That's an anime, I believe. Number 3, Chicago PD. Number 2, X2, X-Men United, one of the better X-Men movies. And number 1, Chicago Fire. Did I miss anything? No, I did Jiko EP. I did everyone's. All right. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your weekly rankings. Now, let's just dive into it, everyone. Let's talk about, honestly. Oh, yeah. Why are you laughing so much?
Because, dude, this movie, it's not real.
Exactly. This movie. So, let's start this way, because I titled this episode, An Honest Conversation About Madam Web. Let's start with full-on honesty. I know a lot about this movie as of 2-3 days ago. I think 2 days ago. I know a lot about this movie. I'm not going to share like the stuff I know. I will tell everyone who is watching right now, who might be interested in knowing, there is nothing in the credits. No mid, no post. As soon as the credits come on, you can leave. There's nothing. But believe me, everything that we're
something, I guarantee.
I guarantee you there was supposed to be something. Yeah, absolutely. But do
you think they learned their lesson from Morbius? Do you think they learned? They're like, yeah, let's not.
I don't think I would put it that way.
No, but I just mean the end credit scene was like, the Morbius end credit scene was the Vulture.
No, because for better or worse, when we were talking about Morbius, we were either talking about how it flopped twice or about those post-credit scene, because there's nothing to talk about in the movie.
Yeah.
Except for the one gif of Matt Smith dancing. For better or worse, there's going to be a lot to talk about with this. But a lot of it, believe me, it's still... So how can I put this? Once you watch this movie, and I'm going to watch this movie probably over there, whether with you or Tessa in California. I'm probably going to do a spoiler review with Tessa because I'll be with her by the time the movie comes out. So stay tuned for that. So
You're like
coming into
making me
Madam Web.
think I have to like ditch my like part of my honeymoon to go fucking watch this.
No, don't do that.
Like I
mean,
can wait, right?
If
Like
you're on your honeymoon and you're walking around and like, oh, there's a cinema here. Maybe. If that's the thing that happens, sure. I would say not for 1 second do you waste a moment of your honeymoon like recording, reviewing it.
no,
But watching
I'll wait till I have
but
it.
watching it, sure.
I have it in my calendar to watch Monday when we get back.
I don't think this is the kind of movie that would like be spoiled for you unless it's like some critical moment that comes out really stupid or really bad.
About spoilers. I just.
Yeah. By the way, the other day I went. When was it?
Are they doing press screenings for this movie? Like it comes out in 2 weeks.
You tell me. I'm not searching for them because I'm not going to be around.
You want to know something? The last time they did a Sony movie, which was Morbius, they did a post-credit scene. It was at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Oh yeah, I remember. I went to a fan
work.
Screening.
Yeah, like they were. I
went to a fan screening like the week before.
That. Yeah, they were very weird about that movie.
There weren't any press screenings.
Yeah, in the press screening, there was 4 of us in it.
I've never been in that, and even back home, I've never been in that.
Out here, I've been in a press screening where it was just me. 2
That's
movies,
awesome.
Both Netflix movies. Bird Box.
Do you remember?
Bird Box was the very first one because I walked in. I'm like, it was just me and the rep, and I was like,
crap.
Well, yeah. So it was funny because that's before it was blowing up. It was like 3 weeks prior because they were doing like a work consideration. I was the only one that went.
Why? For Bird Box?
Because Netflix usually puts all their movies like it just.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then the second one wasn't a word. It was Rustin. They put it in theaters, and they're like, "Oh, come see it." And I was like,
"I still haven't seen it."
It's good.
Okay.
Coleman Domingo is incredible in it, so it's a little surface level in terms of storytelling. But yeah, I show up. I'm the only critic, and the rep's like, "Do you still want to?" I'm like, "I already drove 25 minutes, so yeah,
like might as well."
Like, yeah.
But what I was saying about Madam Web is that we're going to be talking a lot about this film, at least for until that poll comes out or something like that, until something bigger-ish comes out or something worse comes out. But from what I know, like from reading on it, like not seeing how these ideas come to life, what we're going to be talking about Madam Web after we see it is a lot of the same conversation we're having right now. Who asked for this film? Who wants this film? Why would you spend this money, this cast on this film? Why are you making these Spider-Man-less Spider-Man movies that no one wants? Because Venom, I still question it, but I get it. It's Venom. Morbius
made no sense.
I question it even more so. That one is like
Craven is like the next one that yes, I can kind of get why you would do this.
It looks like you're going in a very stupid direction with him, but I get why you look at a character like Craven and you're like, we can make a movie around this. That I get. Not that I'm inspired with confidence, given their track record.
Can I ask you something since you know more about is it? This is out on Twitter in the public. So, I mean, Ren has not told me anything about this, so I don't know. Is the Terminator plotline thing really the thing?
It is, but like it's not that.
It's different.
Our character, so like Dakota Johnson is not traveling back in time. She's seeing the future. She's seeing what this guy's going to do to her. So it's sort of Terminator-ish, but like there's no literal time travel from like her.
End. But in terms of storytelling, it is.
It follows very similar beats, but there's enough.
Okay. Can you message me who Emma Roberts is?
You know who Emma Roberts is. Like, I don't have to message you.
I'm going to message you.
No. Well, yes.
So then...
Yeah.
is that one
Yeah.
guy, right? What
Adam
everyone's
Scott.
been. Okay.
Not Adam Scott? Yes, Adam
Yeah, yeah,
Scott,
yeah,
not
yeah.
Andrew Scott. I was thinking
Yeah,
of
the guy
Andrew
who
Scott
sings
for some
"Sweet
reason.
Child of Mine" in the car and yells at his family.
Exactly. That's true. So yeah, we're going to be talking about this film in a lot of ways, the same way we're talking about right now, which is exactly what to me feels like the biggest problem about this movie. Everything we see about it, and they've only launched they launched like a featurette on Who is Madam Web this past week. I haven't seen it, but like the one trailer, official trailer we have, and we're less than a month away from the movie's release. And
Yeah,
every time that trailer comes on, every time, like, I have a group chat with like 50 people here in the UK, like the guys who always go to LFF and the screenings in general and all that. Every time someone goes to the cinema and that trailer plays ahead of a movie we're watching, it immediately becomes a topic of conversation on that on that chat, like active. I know of someone in that chat who's genuinely excited for this film because they loved Morbius, so no judgment. Uh, they also love the Venoms, but most people are like us. They're questioning like the reasoning
yeah.
behind the movie.
Because
Uh,
that's my thing. I enjoy Venom. I like Venom. I think they're fun. They're fun and enjoyable for what they are. Morbius, though, was not good. That was
yeah.
not good. And this does not look good at all. I mean, I genuinely watched the trailer, excited, hoping changed my mind. Because I'll be honest, I still have not watched the Craven trailer. I still have not watched that fucking trailer.
It's the better one. It's the best
Oh,
one out of them all.
I believe it. I
It's
believe
the
it.
best one, and even so, the reaction that it musters from me is okay. That's the one.
You
Because
know what? You know
I
what it
watched the
makes me.
Venom trailer, it's
Yeah.
terrible. I watched the Venom Let There Be Carnage trailer, terrible. I watched the Morbius trailer, I fall asleep halfway through. I watched the Madam Web trailer, it's hilariously bad put together, as a trailer, at least. The Caravan trailer is like, oh, okay, except the final line. The final line is fucking hilarious.
That's what I've heard. So this is what I think Marvel, or not Marvel, Sony is doing.
Sony, the spunk.
They are taking, so instead of them developing new ideas to a certain extent, they're jumping into Spider-Man and being like, what are some obscure characters that we can just make a movie out of? I genuinely think that's what they're doing. And then
Because
if we
of
wanted
the
to connect
rumor
with
of the rights, like if they don't make movies like every 4 years.
I don't think it has to do with the villains.
Oh,
From my
okay.
thought, it was the
That's what I was asking,
Spider-Man.
because I don't think it has to do with that either. Because if that was the case of like we're going to lose the rights if we don't make movies, that as a company, and I love the collaboration Marvel and Sony have right now, Marvel Studios
Yeah.
and Sony have. If it was a matter of if we don't make a movie, let's say every 4 years, we're going to lose the rights. If I was in that position, as much as I love my partnership with Marvel, I'd be like, look, I'm not going to spend millions of dollars on casts and ideas and productions that don't have Spider-Man in them and are movies that literally fans of the comics are looking at and they're questioning, why are we doing this? I'm going to make Spider-Man movies because that's the character I want to keep the rights for. If that hurts the relationship, if that tears the relationship down, so be it. I'm not saying that's what I want to happen. I'm saying if I'm smart, if I'm in Sony's position, that's how I'm thinking it. I'm not going to waste my money, my resources, my time, people's jobs on movies that nobody asked for. I want to keep the Spider-Man rights. I'm going to make movies about Spider-Man because I have the rights. So I have the right to make those movies. So I don't think it's about that either.
So I tried finding what the deal is, so that no one ever really knows what the deal is. It's just kind of leaked that they do have to make a movie. Most people have
Is it
estimated
every 4 years?
it's every 4 or 5, but
Okay.
still,
Okay.
if it's every 4 and 5, Madam Web doesn't really fall into that because they just did. I'm pretty sure Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse count. At least the way I view it. So maybe I'm wrong. If it's live
They
action,
probably
wise,
don't because
yeah.
it's probably gotta be
So
live
if we
action.
look at it live action wise, then No Way Home was what 2-3 years ago at this point. you're still fine.
It's gonna be 3 years at the end of this year. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
that's by the way, because
Mhm.
you brought up Spider-Man, it just reminded me. Yes, Donald Glover shows up like in full Prowler suit,
Yeah,
but Tom Holland doesn't show up. Only Andrew Garfield, only Tom Hardy, only Tobey Maguire show up in Spider-Verse, specifically
yeah.
movies made by Sony.
So, the last thing I was gonna add to this is, people do speculate that they did do a new deal, specifically the latest one that kind of let
Yeah,
Tom come back. So I don't
good.
know. I hope whatever they're doing. I know with the MCU, it's more of that's why Tom's probably taking a while. Is
Yeah.
the MCU is trying to make sure they can develop something that's gonna be just as good as No Way Home, if not better. I like to believe I think they'll do it better than, especially that Drew Goddard. Uh,
Oh yeah.
rumor comes out. I love Drew Goddard, so I'd be very excited for that. But I don't know. It's just I don't think Madam Web's gonna make money. I think it's gonna be forgotten. And you know it's sad. So the general going audience, I see it from my work. A lot of these people ask me, should I go see Madam Web? I tell them I'm not opening weekend. I don't have time. But
Well, to be fair, you're on your honeymoon when it
yeah.
comes out, so
So
that's
then
why
they
you're
were
not.
like,
Otherwise, you probably would.
So then they were like, well, tell me, is this movie connected to the universe? Because they know I'm like, I've heard some things, but then you told me the credit scene thing. So then I texted them and I was like, no, probably not.
By the way, I know there was supposed to be something there, but I don't know what it was supposed to be. I don't know what it would have been if it wasn't cut.
So I
Like
talked to
I don't know,
someone.
I don't know
That's why when
exactly.
you told
Like,
me that,
oh,
I was like, oh, they cut it.
I don't have like the conversation I had, what I was sent. I don't have like, and this is the final scene of the movie where character X says to character Y, blah blah blah, and they all die in an explosion. Like I don't have like the final scene that detailed. I just
It'll
have
leak
a
out.
very
It'll leak out.
of I just have a very um general I want to say outline of it all. Like this is the premise and this is how it develops and this is how it comes to a conclusion. So basically, to put it bluntly, I know essentially what the emotional arcs, the emotional journeys are, but I don't have the narrative
Dude,
specifics.
could you imagine the end credit scene was something like how Loki season 2 ended, where she's looking at the web and she sees all the different
Oh
Spider-Man and
yeah.
stuff,
Oh
and they
yeah.
cut it because of Loki.
Loki. I would kind of love that. Because, like, how dare you try to live up to the name of Loki, the god of stories?
But am I wrong? Doesn't that seem like something they would do?
It
Because
seems
then they
like
don't have to
something
have the Spider-Man. They can just use archival
yeah,
footage that they have.
it seems like something they would do, but to be fair, like that, theoretically speaking, like that iconography that you're speaking about, that visual identity is very much what Madam Web is in the comics.
Exactly. So it would
So
make
at this
sense.
point,
It
yeah.
makes
So at
sense.
this point, it would definitely be for like we talk about all the time. Like what gives the MCU movie money is not me who loves the comics. It's not Zach who loves. It's not anyone who loves the comics. It's the general audience. So the general audience wouldn't know it, but if they saw that right now, the general audience that doesn't know the comics would immediately go, "Oh, that looks like Loki. They copied Loki." That's what would happen. 100%. So you are very right in pointing that out. Let's talk a little bit about Ezekiel Sims, the worst name for a villain probably ever. Because if you're a bad guy who's coming after me to murder me and your last name is Sims, you can kill me, but I'm going to die laughing. I think this character looks as uninteresting as a character can look. Like even he hates spider people so much he's gonna use an inverted, like in terms of color scheme, he's gonna use an inverted um, suit for it. Like it makes no sense to me. We have no clue like what his powers are, what he actually wants. Oh, that's a mystery in the film. But yeah, I need to like know his motivations, even if he's using those as to mask something, to hide behind something. And this character, like his mission, his goal, the way he even is sort of dressed, even though he's dressed like a normal person, but he is barefoot in a New York City subway. That's disgusting. Isn't it?
No, it is.
He looks very much like Moreland from the comics. Now, Moreland is this sort of vampire, but he's not a literal vampire that travels across universes, because he's a very kind of specific vampire. He's a vampire that can only feed on spider people. And that, in the comics, is how the Spider-Verse story starts. So I want to know your thoughts, if you've read through that story, if you see the similarities I see between this character and Moreland. Because, by the way, the character himself exists in the comics.
He's just an old man.
He's just an old man. And he shows up in like 2 comics or something. Like he's not a part of a big arc. He's not a main villain or anything. But what are your thoughts on this character? How it compares to Moreland?
I do not give a fuck about this man, about anything. And the reason is, I'm just sitting here thinking about how they were also going to do an El Muerto movie with Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
And
which in an alternate timeline we've seen by this point.
Yes. Which, let me tell you right now, probably would have been more fun. Maybe.
Than
Maybe.
Madam Web?
Maybe.
Oh,
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a wrestling movie.
Know.
Could have been.
You're winning me over. But I don't know, because Madam Web looks like a specifically fun kind of bad. Like, because Morbius
like
is
a
like
Serenity type of bad.
Like Serenity type. Actually, yeah.
No, it like genuinely does. Yeah.
It does.
Dude, it just, are they making, like, I don't understand.
It's money laundering. It's money.
Yeah, like, I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing over there? Like,
is there anything about the movie that looks good to you?
No.
Okay.
You know what? No. I think the 3 main girls, or I guess 4 if you count Dakota. I don't like. I just look at the other 3 with the spider suits. I think they look fun, like cool. I think they'll have a fun dynamic, and that's just mostly because of the actresses playing them. But every time you message me and I see your fucking Twitter name, I just like die just a little bit. The research. I am so disinterested in this movie.
I don't know, man. I've turned around on it, where turn around is not the right term, because I don't think it looks good. I don't think it's gonna be good, but it's become that kind of film where at first I'm like, this is a bad idea. The trailer came out. This looks terrible. And the more I watch the trailer, and the more I see all these headlines come, and it's not going to have a post-credit scene, and now I know like essentially what happens in the film. And then we have that news this week that they removed all specific references to Spider-Man because they realized, oh shit, we got the timeline wrong. After they fucking made the movie. And I'm looking at this, and it is an absolute car crash. But because it's a car crash, it's not like Morbius. Morbius is it's a car that falls off a bridge and disappears, and nobody cares about. This is a car crash happening at slow motion, and I have to stop to watch it on the front row. Maybe not literal if I go see it on an IMAX, but you know what I mean. It's the kind of I have to see how bad, expensive this blockbuster released by a major studio and I know we've had a ton of conversations about superhero movies throughout the past year, but in general, we're still living in the era of the superhero.
I can't believe this is kicking off the superhero year.
Echo kicked off the superhero year, and that was
in terms of movies. In terms of movies,
okay. Like, could this be worse than Suicide Squad 2016? Because I look at it and I think it has a shot.
I will say no. Well, okay. That
Let me
Suicide
think
Squad's
about
really,
it.
it's really messy in editing. And I genuinely do think that if David Ayers, I don't want to feel that flame, but I do think if his version came out, the editing, the story probably wouldn't be as messy and bad. I think other things would still be bad, clearly, because that's what was in his version. But overall, the story would be better. This, I don't think it really has an excuse. You know what I mean? Like, they made this movie. Like, I don't know. Like, it's gonna be another one of those movies that comes out, everyone's gonna meme the fuck out of, and then it's gonna be forgotten, and it's not gonna make money. This movie's not gonna. If this movie
I don't
makes
think
more
we
than
we have
$30
we have a
million,
question. We have a
okay,
question later about box office
okay,
for
then
Madam
I'll
Web.
hold on to it. So, but I'm done. I'm done.
You're
This
done.
honest
Nothing
conversation of
else.
Madam Web
Nothing
has
else.
just killed me. As
So
I literally do not care about this movie.
so before we move on, let me ask you something like quick fire. And let's just do this with like the main four, the Fantastic Four that are leading this movie. Let's imagine Madam Web doesn't exist. You can do DC, you can do Marvel, you can do Sony, you can do anything else. Either they've already announced something that you like to see. Dakota Johnson, give her a superhero role or a supervillain role.
I think she would have been really good as Sue Storm. I think she could
Okay.
have pulled a Sue Storm off. But that's like the first one I could also see as Zatanna or Zatanna.
Mm-hmm.
I think she could do that because she like plays awkward so well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like trying to think of a role that would fit that. But those are like the
I,
first two
I
that comes.
I think she could kick ass as Poison Ivy. Like she wouldn't be like my
Ooh,
number one,
yeah.
my number two, but like when I
But
think of
put her
her
in the
in a
Reeves
superhero movie.
universe as Poison Ivy.
Oh yes, I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
a more ultra
All
realistic.
right. Celeste O'Connor. Who would you? I have one already.
What's yours? Yeah.
White Tiger in the.
Oh, that would be fucking great.
Yeah.
I'll go with you on that. That would be great. I was like trying to think DC for her. I'm like, fuck, I don't know off the top, but okay.
Yeah. Let's do Isabella Merced, who's
Well, she's
already
already
in
in the
DC,
DC,
but
so we'll
give her
go
a Marvel or a Sony. We're leaving the easiest one for last.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I guess for her, I'm like looking at my comic shelf. I'd probably put her in an X-Men. Put her somewhere as a mutant.
Oh,
Emma
as a
Frost.
Kitty
If you want to do
Pryde,
an
I
Emma
like
Frost.
her.
Oh, Kitty Pryde would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. Or Jubilee needs to be Asian. So yeah, Kitty Pryde would be great. Sydney Sweeney, Black Cat.
Black Cat.
It's right fucking there,
Or
everyone.
just, I mean, she's playing Spider-Woman technically, but why couldn't she be Jessica Drew? Is she Jessica Drew? I don't know.
No,
Is
she's
she?
not. She's
So
I believe she's Julia Carpenter.
okay, so my
This
question
was
is
a
why
character.
is she not Jessica Drew? But okay.
They're probably keeping her for another Spider-Man-less Spider-Man movie. Yeah, she's playing Julia Carpenter. This was the character I was introduced to. This character in the 90s Iron Man animated series. So this was the first Spider-Woman that I was ever introduced to. So then when when I found out about Jessica Drew, I was like, oh, who's this? Isn't that other woman, Spider-Woman, and all that? So yeah.
Can we preference this though? Black Cat in an MCU movie, not
no, 100%.
Like, I don't want Sony to watch this and get an idea of, oh, let's just make a Black Cat movie now with her.
Yeah, exactly. Without Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The whole fun of Black Cat is how she flirts with Spider-Man while he is in a committed relationship. So don't take that away. If you're gonna do Black Cat, do Black Cat right. All right, everyone. With that out of the way, let's go into your questions. Zach, do you want to get us started this week?
Yeah, I can. Oh, sorry. Give me 1 second. I just got to sort by newest first, and then
I'll get us started because I got it.
Okay.
Master of Gaming, do you think Argyle will do well critically and financially? So, I got my invite for the screening this week. I'm confirmed. And we're about 2 weeks from, well, you all are about 2 weeks from finding out, finally, who wrote the book, who wrote the screenplay, the mystery behind it all. This is a secret I have known for like a year or so. I have told Zach. There's an entire conspiracy theory behind this secret, and whether you love it or not, everyone's going to be talking about like the reveal in this movie. Answering to your question, okay. Answering to your question, do I think it's going to do well critically and financially? I think it's going to do. I don't know what can you search the budget for
What do you
Argyle?
think it is? It's Apple, so no matter what, it probably got a bigger
Apple,
budget than
so
usual.
at the very least, I can see it being.
Holy
What the hell
fuck.
was that? Oh, okay.
I saw the budget, man. Holy fuck.
I saw that. I thought that was a very weird sneeze. It is like 150?
200.
200? Never mind. This movie, I don't know that this movie's gonna do well. I don't know anymore that this
It'll
movie's
do
gonna
well
do
enough for a $100 million movie.
Do you think? Because like I want to do well.
Yeah,
like doing
this was
well.
announced originally when the film was made. Argyle Apple lands Matthew Vaughn's spy film for $200 million.
Does that include like buying the rights to the book?
It must be.
Because it's got. Because I don't know that it gets to the 400s. Because if it gets to the 600s, it's like okay, cool, breaks even. I don't know that it gets there. Like if the budget for the movie specifically is 200, I can see it getting 400. I can see it getting 500.
The movie does not cost 200. The whole thing to get it going. So rumored is it's around 150. So it was about 50 million.
150. I can see it doing 400, maybe getting to the 500. So if that is the budget, I can see it. I can see it.
It seems like
doing
Apple
well.
overpaid. It seems like Apple overpaid to get the rights. So, which makes sense in the long run, I think.
Yeah, and it's Apple. It's a cent to them.
They make 200. Yeah, they make $200 million a minute. So
exactly. I think it does well enough. Critically, I can see it landing in the 50s, 60s at a push. I don't know that it does well, but that's just from knowing the general reception of the people around me who are critics from the trailer. And if they feel the same way about the movie that they do about the trailer, like that's where I see it landing. What about you?
Critically, 50, 60. Not because I just think a lot of Matthew Vaughn's latest movies have been mixed reception overall. I've loved every movie of his besides The Last King's Man. I did not like that movie. I thought it was very disappointing. I thought the action was good, but overall just wasn't my cup of tea. Financially, they're marketing it really well. I mean, honestly, like if I didn't know,
it is all over the place.
Yeah, like if I think this is out of all the Apple movies they've done, this is probably the best marketing because Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon. Most of my general going audience friends thought it was going to streaming first as well. This movie, all of them just think it's going to theaters. So I don't know what the twist or turn on that was, but they're doing something right. So that makes me excited. I think it does decent. I don't think it makes a ton of money. Honestly, this year is going to be weird for movies because there's not a lot coming out, and Argyle is technically the biggest thing for the start of the year.
That's true. And it comes like 2 weeks before Madam Web, too.
Yeah.
So, we're not excited for Madam Web, as we've established. We don't think anybody is excited. But if Madam Web came out first and it was that first big movie of the year and nobody liked it, it leaves like the other big movies going, I'm not excited for the other big movies now. If Argyle comes out and the general, forget it. We talked about what we think the critics will do. The general audience goes into Argyle and they're like, this is a really fun, bombastic, hype, like spy caper. It's real fun. That's the movie that opens like the big films of the year. I think that's good. So that's a very good thing to point out.
I pray that audience members are understanding that Dune Part 2 is going to be the best thing ever and that they should all go support that instead in March. Because honestly, I think that'll be when people are like, oh, movies are back again. You know what I mean? Like when Dune 2
It's March, man. It's the best month. People get excited in March.
Yeah. All right. What's next? Will Madam Web do better than Birds of Prey and the Marvels critically and financially? I hope the fuck not. I know Ren's not huge on Birds of Prey, and I'm not. You like the Marvels? I'm trying to remember.
I like the Marvels. Yeah. We got
But-
Dave on the chat. Sorry, I got excited.
Hey,
We got Dave. It is not Taylor Swift who wrote the Argyle. I can tell you that. It is not Taylor Swift.
if it was, instantly $1 billion movie.
Instant.
Instant movie.
I mean, yeah, it would make double the money. What's the concert movie? Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, Eras Tour.
Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour. That's the one. But no, it's not Taylor Swift. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
The conspiracy, the revelation behind the conspiracy is not. But yeah, like you were saying, how much did Birds of Prey make?
It made like almost, I think like 170, something like that. I'll look it up, but I know it wasn't a lot.
Because it came out and like 2 weeks later was like everything
Pandemic.
shuts down.
205. 205.
205 on a budget of.
It needed to gross 250 to 300. Let me see if I can find the budget.
I mean, okay, it didn't fall too much behind the goal then.
Budget was around 82 to 100.
82 to 100. Yeah, 80 to 100. Yeah, I can see that. And how much
Marvel's
was
206 overall.
Marvel's grossed 206 overall?
Yeah. So around the
honestly, I hate to say it, but out of sheer curiosity, I think Madam Web can make more.
So if Morbius had generated that much, because it only landed at like 170, I would say the same.
Yeah.
But I just don't see Madam Web being good. And if there's no post-credit scene that makes people want to go see it, I don't. If this movie makes more than 30 million opening weekend, I'm gonna fucking die. I'm gonna be like, I don't know what people are wasting their fucking money on.
It is Valentine's Day.
And I don't give
Valentine's
a fuck.
Day.
I don't give a fuck. There's probably something else coming out.
Does anything else come out? Yeah,
probably
check
not.
if anything
I'll
else
look
comes
it
out.
up. But yeah, I mean, no, and then critically, no.
No. Yeah, everyone got out of the way of Madam Web, man.
Lisa Frankenstein comes out the week prior.
Oh, that looks
so
good.
That could, yeah. And then Bob Marley comes out the same day.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Bob Marley, the Bob Marley movie. But yeah, by the way, I said I can see it making more than those two, but I'm not saying it makes 300 or anything.
Yeah.
By the way, do you know who's directing Lisa Frankenstein? Don't search for it.
Robin Williams' daughter, right?
Yeah.
Zelda.
Yeah, exactly.
They moved the screening, so now I can go to it. It was originally the day before you come. But then I was like, I don't want to. I got too much stuff to do. But then they moved it to Monday. I was like, oh, now I can go.
Oh, cool.
I'm not doing anything yet, so.
Nice.
Hopefully
all right. The Master of Gaming also asks, who's your favorite female superhero in superhero movies? Do we count Harley Quinn as a superhero?
Nah, she's telling you. I would count her more as a villain. That's what I was.
Do we count Power Rangers as superheroes?
To your own, man.
Because Kimberly from Power Rangers, Naomi Scott's character. I was going to say Kimberly Scott, but she's not Kimberly Scott. She's Kimberly Hart. I count her as one of my favorite superheroes. Thena from the Eternals. Scarlet Witch from all the Avengers movies. Makar. I need to rewatch Eternals, man. Makari is fantastic. I love Black Widow. She is not a superhero.
I'll give a shout out.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Captain Carter. She cameoed in Doctor Strange. So yeah, I'm gonna say. Captain Carter.
I have one. Hit Girl from Kick-Ass.
Oh, nice.
That's mine. That's my one.
Shout.
That's
nice shout. I like.
I looked down. I saw my Kick-Ass comics, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's the one. Yeah. That's my pick.
Nice. The female Kimiko from The Boys.
Yeah, she's awesome.
And Queen Maeve as well.
Yeah. And Starlight.
All right. And Starlight. What else?
Oh, we didn't even say Wonder Woman. I guess should we say that too?
I mean, if you feel she's one of your favorites, she's not one of my favorites, so I don't feel the necessity to say it.
No. Okay.
All right, what's next?
Do you want a Morbius 2 since it's from the same writers as Madam Web? Well, that explains a lot.
I didn't want Madam Web, so that answers your question. Do you want a Morbius 2, Zach? From the excellent writers of Morbius and Madam Web?
I would love for Scorsese to come in and make a Morbius movie. Like, for somehow, some way, Sony has, like, blackmail on him. And they're like, you're making a movie for us. And it's going to be Morbius too.
Forget about it's an interesting idea, but forget about Morbius. I would love a Scorsese vampire film.
That would be cool. That'd be fucking sick. Imagine if he made a Nosferatu film.
Oh, I don't know that it'd be better than Robert Eggers, but yeah,
you never know.
I like it. You never know.
You ready for the next one?
I am ready for the next one. Master of Gaming, do you think Wonder Woman 2017 is still the best female-led superhero movie?
No. I think Black Widow is better. I like Black Widow more.
I think Black Widow is slightly better. I'm going to give a shout-out to The Old Guard.
Oh my
Charlize Theron.
God, I love that movie. I fucking love that.
And we're supposedly getting Old Guard 2 this year. So that's exciting. Yeah. Also, Power Rangers, because Kimberly is the main character in that show. Yeah. In that movie. All right, what's next?
Lady Aaron, well, guys, Oscar nominations will officially be announced on Tuesday morning. Will you guys be doing a live stream of the Oscar nominations like you guys do every year? And are you guys nervous? I will be. Live reaction. Are you?
I thought it was Wednesday, but yes, I am doing it. I need to start. I'm going to work on the thumbnails tomorrow, get everything ready. So, yeah.
Sweet.
Lady Aaron, the BAFTA nominations were announced over the week. If you guys saw these nominations, what did you think of them overall? I don't pay much attention. I stumbled across the animated nominees, and that kind of pissed me off because why only 4? And how the hell is Chicken? I know why the British people voted for the British.
Why is there only 4? That's my question.
But why is there only exactly? Why is there makes no sense? But I don't care about the BAFTAs. They're becoming very much like the Golden Globes, which is a shame because the BAFTAs, as a prestigious voting body. These are the actual filmmakers, like the Oscars are the actual filmmakers. But for some reason, they're becoming the Golden Globes. So I don't care. I don't think they have any value right now. So they need to work on that. What about you?
I don't care. I just
all right
about the Oscars.
What's next?
What are some of the saddest deaths in fictional movie characters, in your opinion?
Saddest deaths?
That fucking one dog movie.
Oh, Hachi?
Yeah.
The one I made you watch?
Yeah.
It's a good shout.
I'll take no other answer. That's it.
Yeah, that's the number one. But Mufasa's up there, Uncle Ben, Aunt May, spoilers. Tony Stark, Thanos, because he was right. I don't know what.
Oh, Jojo Rabbit, the fucking.
Oh shoe. Yes, the shoe scene.
Maybe not always sad, but fucking shocking.
It is sad. It is fucking sad.
Oh, man.
I was gonna say Batman and Dark Knight Rises, and then I'm like, oh no, wait, he doesn't die.
Oh, you know what's so sad? The Scream 7 franchise just dead. Done.
I like that you said that as an Italian. You know what's so sad?
Yeah, you know. my Italian comes out. Lady Aaron, how much longer Ren and I'll just finish it. How much longer Ren get to go to the US for Zach's wedding?
So we got 2 more shows. So we got next week, January 27th, which is also the day of the Royal Rumble. And we got February 3rd. And then February 8th, I fly out. Eventually, it's February 9th over here. And while it's still February 8th over there, I land. I'm traveling to... Technically, it's going to be 12 hours, but also it's technically because of the time travel, it's only going to be 2 hours until I land. Because I leave at like 4, and then our show.
Yeah.
No.
It'll be on the 9th. It'll be on the 9th.
Our show on the 9th.
That morning. So
It will be on a
It'll be fun.
Friday instead of a
Mhm.
Tuesday. And
Yeah.
and you know the best part? I'm not gonna need Zach to wake up at like 7. We can do the show like at 8, at 9, at 10.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's what we're doing. So
So he doesn't need to wake up when the sun comes up.
yeah. All right.
Because he'll be waking me up on the door to my room late. Hey, it's 7 a.m. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Half an hour more, Mom.
Yeah.
I always wake up at 7:30 anyway. 7:50.
Do you? That's good.
Yep.
I usually I know as tired as it seems, I'm okay with doing this because I usually get up at 6 anyways. And then for work when it shifts back, I usually wake up at 5 because I like to get shit done. Like I've been working out more in the morning, so I like to do like everything
Are we
possible
going
in the
to
morning.
gym?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Probably no time. But that's okay.
Because I was gonna say I wake up like early too because I like to wake up early. I don't like to wake up late. Like I immediately feel like half of my day is gone,
Yeah,
and I
that's how I
can't do
feel.
anything.
Like even dude,
Um,
like even for the wedding, like as late as it'll be, I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you I'll still get up at like 7 on Sunday
Yeah.
or 8.
Oh,
Like I have my whole day like, and
depends on
then
how drunk
dude,
I get.
yeah, that's true. But we also have the Deadpool trailer to react
We
to
also
that
have
day
Deadpool.
together.
Immediately rising from the bed. Deadpool.
And whatever else comes up
And
too.
whatever else. It could be a lot of things, could be very few things. I was also
Yeah.
going to say, like, I also like to wake up, not to go off on the tangent, like to wake up early because of the meal plan I have. Like, I wake up at 7:15, go to the gym, get home, and eat. And if I go to the gym any later, I'll get home and then I'll eat. And I'm like, well, in about an hour, I should be having lunch, but I'm not going to be hungry in about an hour.
So
So
it
I
fucks with
have
your
to eat
schedule.
as early as possible. Yeah, it just, if you're
No, I
having a
get
lot
it.
of meals, yeah, it just fucks with the system. All right. Am I next? You already like read
Yeah,
like
yeah. I
2 in a
took 2
row.
on accident, so I can keep going. I have them up.
No, I
But,
got it. I got it.
okay.
Lady Aaron, as it was announced yesterday, Alec Baldwin has been indicted with charges of murder from a grand jury. What do you think this might do for the case? And do you think Alec's career could possibly be over because of this? So I'm going to refrain from answering what it could do for the case because I've not been following the case. Like when the news came out yesterday, I was like, oh, I forgot that was still going. I'm not saying it shouldn't be. I'm not saying it shouldn't be going, but there's a lot to investigate there. So be thorough, take your time, be a little bit faster because the woman's life, the woman's family, she unfortunately left behind. They need that emotional resolution. But I've not been following the case in a thorough manner, so I don't have all the details. So I don't feel I'm in a place to comment on it. But in regards to your second question, I think I think it could very well possibly be over for Alec Baldwin. Zach,
I honestly I don't know. I don't. He's rich. Like how much
that's true.
can that go? You know
That's
what I
true.
mean? Like I honestly thought it was kind of done with.
Mhm.
But I think a lot of what people have to remember is he's a producer.
Yeah.
So he was a producer on the film that hired, their safety people and all that. So it does, in the end of the day, fall on him too. And there can be a discussion if the other producers, which I think they were, are up for faults as well. But it's not really the conversation to be had here. Personally, at least that's the way I view it. We talk more fun stuff, and sometimes Madam Web, but
and sometimes, well, it's fun to talk about Madam Web. I don't know that it'll be fun to watch. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's gonna be hell of a fun to watch because it's gonna be ridiculous how bad it is. All right, what's next?
Damien Scott. When will Black Cat finally make a live action appearance, not including the Amazing Spider-Man 2, because we never got to see that version? With Sony, it could be 30 years. It could be tomorrow.
Yeah. It could be Spider-Man 4. It could be the third Spider-Man movie of the next trilogy of Spider-Man movies. So it's
or
tough
never.
to say because
or never.
Or maybe she's too sultry, too sexy to be in a PG-13 movie, and they'd have to go, oh no, the Spider-Man movie is rated R because Black Cat is in it. Yeah. And all the nerds.
You know what they should do? And then I'll say this. They're doing that Spider-Man Noir show.
Oh, that's right.
Have a version of Black Cat in there.
She would fit into like
Yeah.
a noir series. Yeah,
Maybe
she's a
that's
femme
actually
fatale.
his lover in there.
Mm-hmm.
Could play with that.
Apparently, he's not
So,
going to be Peter Parker, which
no,
is strange.
which is weird, but okay.
And he's also not going to be Nicolas Cage, which I get, but it's still strange because everyone fell in love with Noir except for me because I'm a fucking nerd. I knew him, but yeah, everyone else was like, "Oh, that Spider-Man is Nick Cage." That's why everyone fell in love with him. So I don't get that. I get that he's expensive. I get why he's not coming back, but if he says, "Oh, I'm not coming back," okay, let's do a movie then with Nicolas Cage. All right,
That's the Spider-Man movies they should be doing.
exactly.
Live action 2099, live action Miles Morales, live action this, live action that,
live action Spider-Man India.
Yeah,
that would
Gwen
be
Stacy.
fucking awesome. Spider-Gwen, fuck yes. All right, Demolition Scott. Will Sony Pictures still be doing a Silver Sable movie?
I think it's going to end up being a show if their Prime stuff works out, because they have Silk over there and Noir. So if both of those, or at least one of them, turns out to be great and it has great buzz, I think we end up seeing Silver Sable over there. And I actually think Silver Sable works, but I'll say this right now: if Kraven gets a sequel, Kraven 2 will have Silver Sable as the villain.
Ooh, that's cool. I like that. I was going to say I don't think so, especially because they had a success with Venom, so they put all these other movies on the works, but Morbius flopped hard twice. Madam Web looks like it's going to be the same fucking thing. It really depends on Kraven the Hunter, but I don't think so. The alternative idea that Zach gave about them showing up on a show, I think that's really fun. I think that works. And that way they're not the main character because they're not in that status to be a main character. So yeah. All right, what's next?
Lady Aaron, thoughts on rumored Polar Express 2 being worked on? Do you think the movie deserves a sequel or not? Doesn't matter.
Does anyone really care? Is anyone thinking, out of all the movies that I saw from my childhood that deserve a sequel, it is without a doubt.
Jingle All the Way 2.
My God, yes.
Well, they did actually. They did do it with Larry the Cable Guy, I think.
Do an official.
Yeah, with Arnold.
Yeah. With Arnold. Come on. Turbo Man. All right.
Now Jamie's grown up and he's a fuck up, so.
Don't say that. That's me.
Oh, well, yeah.
You didn't even do it on purpose. I just thought you did.
No, I didn't.
All right. In regards to Polar Express 2, as I was saying, I'm not invested. I don't really care. If you are going to do it, though, Bobby Z, my friend, Robert Zemeckis, Bobby Z, make it without any polishing, any
same animation,
any upgrades, same animation, because the Polar Express is one of those films that I remember at the time. Oh my God, this is incredible! Like how this looks and how they move, blah blah. It's a movie that quickly, even by 2007, 8, 9, it's a movie that was like, oh, this movie has aged.
If he came back though, he would use the same technology he used in that Welcome to Morrowind.
Yeah, which kind of would make it more disturbing if I'm thinking about it. That movie sucked, man. But I was thinking the Polar Express, it's not even a movie that has aged horribly, but it's a movie that has aged. As soon as you look at it, this is a movie from the early 2000s when we were all excited about experimenting with motion capture, and we didn't quite have that technology. So I want a Polar Express sequel to be made the exact same way, inadvertently giving us all these funny moments, all these creepy visuals, all these creepy movements from characters. I want Tom Hanks again to play. He doesn't play every single character, but he plays 90% of the characters. He plays the conductor. He plays the kid. He plays Santa. He plays the homeless man that is caught up on the top of the train. And he might even play more characters that I'm forgetting about because none of the characters had names. The main boy in the movie is called Boy. That's his name in the credits. So yeah, I'm not too interested in a Polar Express part deux for Bobby Z, especially because he hasn't been making. I haven't liked the Robert Zemeckis movie since The Walk. I enjoyed Allied, but it's fine. But yeah. What else do we got? Polar Express 2.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the announcement that Wizards of Waverly Place is getting a sequel series made? Zach, I believe you watched the Wizards of Waverly Place growing up.
Yeah, I did.
All right. What are your thoughts? Because I didn't.
I don't care. I mean, it'll probably be fun for the next generation, and if I had kids, it would be fun to show them. But they've done this, and it's not like the entire Selena Gomez is only going to be in the pilot. David Henry will be the main character with the new generation. That's about it. I mean, it's smart, but is it going to Disney Channel or is it going to Disney Plus? That's what's going to make. If it goes to Disney Plus and it has a bigger budget, then I'm a little bit more on board. It's just a Disney Channel thing. It's the same thing. They did it with That's So Raven. They did it with Girl Meets World.
Boy Meets World.
Yep. They continue to do this, and that's okay. But two different things. If it's Disney Plus, I'm gonna have a little bit more hope for it. If it's not, then I don't care.
That's what I was about to say, because even the shows you gave examples for when they came out, Disney Plus wasn't a thing. When Girl Meets World came out, Disney Plus wasn't a thing. When what's it called? The sequel. It's Raven's Home. When Raven's Home came out, Disney Plus, not a thing.
Yep.
Now Disney Plus is a thing, but they're willingly putting it on the Disney Channel, which just tells you like, well, it's gonna be like the quality sort of this. So yeah.
So
all right, what's next?
Lady Aaron, thoughts on what we get to see in terms of brand new Indiana Jones video game coming later this year? If you guys know about it, I am so excited for this. I'm not completely sold on it being first person, but the reason that I'm not completely mad about it is because the developers only make first person games. They are such fucking talented people. They made the last three Wolfenstein games, and they were some of the best first-person games I have ever played. And it's not just shooting. There's a bunch of other shit to do in there in terms of first-person. And I think if you're going to get a studio to make a game about Indiana Jones going against Nazis again and having to find grails and treasures and shit, well, what's Wolfenstein about? It's about an alternate reality where the Nazis won. And you got to kick ass. So, like, for me, the trailer didn't blow my mind. I didn't think the gameplay blew my mind. But it's not an actual gameplay trailer. It is a trailer to just get you excited for the overall story. The graphics look good. I am shocked that they got Harrison Ford. I'm not going to lie on that. I did not think they were going to get Harrison Ford's look. I thought they were going to have to come up with a new version of him. But I do love that Troy Baker is voicing him.
Yes.
He played Joel. He's going to be great. I can't wait.
So I have two answers for this, because if you had asked me while I was watching the trailer, I had a huge grin on my face. I was watching this like, this is cool, like finally playing as Indiana Jones. And then at the end, it's not coming out on the PlayStation. It's only coming out on the Xbox. I don't have an Xbox unless one of you wants to buy an Xbox for me. So yeah, I'm not excited anymore. I'm not like, I don't want the movie.
Dude, the amount of people that I saw say the same thing, though. But I have to say this. It's the same thing with Spider-Man. It's the same thing with Spider-Man. Yeah. It's going to be the same thing with Wolverine. It is that's how consoles are.
But Spider-Man I can get because it's Sony. Sony is the thing behind.
Yeah, to a certain extent, it's just a little bit of different. It's a little bit of different laws, or not laws, rights in terms of gaming. Okay. So technically Spider-Man, this is what's wild. A lot of people don't know this. They offered Spider-Man to Microsoft and they said no. So then they took it around trying to sell, and Insomniac ended up agreeing to do it. So how and then Insomniac got bought by Sony during that time when they were in development on it. So then it became, but yeah, all the Wolverine game will be exclusive to PlayStation. There's rumors that they're going to be making an X-Men game after that. That's going to be exclusive. So Yeah.
I mean, the Wolverine game is already kind of an X-Men game.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, a full-on X-Men game is what's rumored to be. So for me, I understand the disappointment, but that's how they get you to buy the console. They get you to buy the console because of the game. And I'm fortunate enough. I want to have every console, even though I don't play them all. I literally just play the PlayStation 5 and the Switch. But I have my Xbox for exclusives like that. So indie seems to be great. I hope it's great. And Ren, maybe someone will want to buy you an Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe one day if we do one of these live shows and they're successful. All right, what's next?
So up next we got funny thing. I just got a test screening invite, but I'm not allowed to go with that. It's for the Russo brothers' new film on Netflix.
Oh, which one is it? I didn't know
The
they were
Electric
making another
State
one.
With Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make my friend go. Give me one. Thoughts on the trailer that we got for the movie Spaceman that has Adam Sandler and Carey Mulligan in it. I have not seen the trailer. I don't want to. I can't wait to watch it though.
I thought it was okay. So I don't
enough.
have any. I don't have interesting thoughts or ideas on it. I just thought it was okay. It's definitely looks like it has a feel of a high rise, so to speak, but like not as as high rise.
Yeah, I'm curious to see this.
I think it's going to be a very well polished, very well put together, but essentially another Netflix movie.
With Adam Sandler giving a good performance, I think.
With Adam Sandler giving a good performance.
And Paul Dano
hopefully a good movie. Yes, a giant spider. A big-ish spider. All right. Dominici Scott, with David Ayer's new film, what could be next for him? As for me, I'm still interested in his director's cut of Suicide Squad we're hearing about. I'm not. And at this point, with James Gunn's philosophies when it comes to the entire reboot, I don't know why you would waste money or on finishing that cut. Like, forget my personal feelings about that cut. James Gunn's philosophy of let's reboot the entire thing, separate ourselves from everything that came before in the DCU. They just left the DCU like to die this entire past year of 2023. So to me, going at this point to go back and, hey, you know what, David Ayer, let's show your cut to the world. Let's release. I think that would be counterproductive. And at this point, people are going to have that mentality they had for the DCU about this cut. Because they know, even when the Snyder Cut came out, I love the Snyder Cut. It did not get big numbers on HBO Max. They spent $70 million to finish that cut, to finish the production of that cut, the shooting. So I don't have any interest. I don't know what's next for him. Like, if he wants to keep doing Beekeeper style movies, keep doing that, dude, because that's great. So yeah. All right,
make another Fury. Something like Fury.
Make another Fury. Yes, I keep forgetting that he directed Fury because it's so good. It doesn't look like him.
Andrew Seif, Oppenheimer has now won the Golden Globe for Best Picture Drama, Critics' Choice. Do you think it's a done deal? It's winning the Oscar. I wouldn't say it's a done deal, but I would say it's the front runner. Only reason I say is I still think The Holdovers is a dark horse.
For picture?
Yeah, for picture.
Okay.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just thinking it's like if it's 95% Oppenheimer, it's 5% The Holdovers.
If it's not a done deal, if it doesn't end up winning, I think it's going to be one of those shock Oscar moments we talk about for years to come. Because
I hope they do another Moonlight La La Land situation, like they fuck up. That'd be funny.
You know why? Because that year the favorite was also La La Land. So when it wrongfully won, we all thought, "Oh, okay, it won. Yeah, it was the favorite."
Oh, dude, I've said it. I turned off the TV. I walked upstairs. I went to bed, and my mom.
You were in bed. I was in a cinema at 5 a.m. getting my heart broken while wearing a dapper white blazer.
Yeah, I still can't believe they did that. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I can see it winning. The Holdovers is the only thing I think it has competition against at this point.
All right, what's next?
Andrew Steve, I know you guys aren't big sports fans, neither am I, but I found the story interesting that last week an NFL game streamed exclusively on Peacock and it broke records for the service. With developments like this, do you think the beginning of the end for traditional cable television? No, it won't ever be an end because streaming will eventually get too expensive and people will just start canceling.
Yeah, streaming will become the new version of cable. In regards to old traditional cable dying, so like you put it yourself, Andrew, I'm so not the biggest sports fan, even though my second year, like my 10th, 11th, and 12th was all about sports. I practiced sports, I studied sports. I was on my way to like be a trainer or a coach or a PE teacher or something like that. But I'm not the biggest sports fan, as you said, and so I'm so much not a traditional sports fan that I'm not aware of like this being the first time it happened, being the records that it broke by this distance and all that. So I don't have enough general knowledge even about the topic that I can find this like, wow, that's impressive, or that's not all that special. I don't even have enough information for that. But traditional cable is very much dying. It's dying a slow death because it still exists, but it is very much dying. Streaming is eventually going to become the new version of it. And when that finally happens, that's when traditional cable finally dies. Lady Aaron, I'm thinking you guys didn't watch the Emmys. No. But the Emmys happened a few days ago. Did you search up on a list on who won? Thoughts on the winners? I didn't. I didn't care. I saw that The Last of Us didn't win anything for the most part, so I didn't care. Zach?
I like the speeches that Kieran Culkin gave. I thought that was a really good speech. I thought that was great. Happy to see Shiv finally won an Emmy. Yeah, bullshit. Better Call Saul didn't win anything, which I think is her next question. So
speaking of, I'm glad you're the one reading the next question.
Yeah, thoughts on Better Call Saul having a total of 53 Emmy nominations in its entire lifespan and winning nothing. It's bullshit.
Go for it.
Genuinely bullshit. But I'm not gonna get too deep into it. I'm just it's one of those things where it was an incredible show, but not everyone watched Better Call Saul. And it ran the entire time Succession ran. So it was basically, and then before Succession, I don't remember the other show that it was going against, but it was another big top tier drama.
Game of Thrones?
Oh, Game of Thrones, yes. It lost to season 8, which is the one year that it probably shouldn't have lost against, but I digress. The only thing that really disappointed me is that they didn't win any acting awards. Or technical awards too, because the cinematography, stuff like that was all incredible. The direction, I just think it's disappointing. Whereas like The Last of Us, I could see like when season 2 comes out, I could see them giving him a majority.
That's their next big one. That's the one that's gonna steal it from other shows.
Yeah, like let's be honest, Pedro will probably get the win.
About fucking time if he does. For that porch
especially
scene. It's gotta be for the porch scene.
Yeah, the porch scene. Bella Ramsey.
The Lord gave me a chance to go back. I'd do it all over again.
I'm about to start playing it again today.
I saw you posting. I'm like, it's out. I need to buy it, but I don't want to cry again.
You just buy the $10 upgrade because there's a $10 upgrade or a physical copy, so you can just put in your PS4 disc and upgrade it for $10. So
I like that. So do I put my PS4 disc on the PlayStation 5?
Yeah. So you pull it in, and then I think you go to you click the options button, and then it gives you an option upgrade to PS5, and then it gives you like the payment.
That's cool.
So.
That's cool. Andrew Seif, what are your thoughts on Chad Stahelski's new deal with Lionsgate overseeing the John Wick and Highlander franchises? So, on a first impression sort of point of view, Chad Stahelski overseeing these two massive franchises, one that I've been there since the inception of it, and one that he's gonna like start from scratch and build a high fantasy, rock and roll fueled odyssey. Love it. Absolutely love it. John Wick is my favorite action franchise of all time. The Highlander has the potential to be an incredible franchise from both a fantasy and action point of view. It could be Terminator, but for action fantasy instead of Terminator being for action sci-fi. The Highlander could be that for action fantasy, and I think it's incredible. I cannot wait for this movie to come out. Cannot wait now to see what else he does after that. But beyond that, overseeing the John Wick franchise, I'm glad he's overseeing it because he clearly wasn't too involved in the Continental. I don't know how involved he was in Ballerina. We'll still have to see that. But at the same time, as happy as I am, he's going to keep supervising John Wick. What are we doing with John Wick? I would rather not get any more John Wick movies. And are we going to abuse the existence of spin-offs? Because there's only so many spin-offs you can make unless they become spin-offs of the spin-off and you introduce more characters in like the Ballerina. Because we all want to see the Halle Berry movie, but starting now on a movie about that character, I think it's a bit too late.
I'd rather just see Donnie Yen. Just give me Kane's spin-off.
Oh my God, yes. Yes, 100%. All right, before we move on, we have a super chat. Luis Feliciano, thoughts on the in memoriam at the Emmys? I am sad that I cannot answer this question. Because like I said, I didn't watch the Emmys, and that includes not watching the
I watched this, so I watched it.
So what
they did the Friends,
nice,
like a slow version of it.
Yeah.
It was good. I don't know if they've missed out on anyone.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Were there like any glaring omissions?
There probably was, but I saw Matthew Perry, and that was about what I needed.
All right, fair enough. All right, what's next?
This week, The Bear, Beef, and Succession won almost all the major categories at the Emmys, as they have been doing for all the TV categories this award season. What are your thoughts on the show sweeping everything, and were there any shows you were hoping to get more recognition? So I know we kind of talked a little bit about this. First off, The Bear should not be in comedy. I don't understand why it is, but it deserved a win. Jeremy Allen White, I've been watching since Shameless, and I think he's awesome. And then Ayo is just fucking great. She's great. But I'm so happy to see Eben Moss win Best Supporting Actor. Because he, for me, is my favorite character in that entire show. And ever since like I saw him in the first season, when he showed up in Andor, I'm like, oh, that's Cousin. Like I'm obsessed. I love him. He might be a part of the Fantastic Four. I would absolutely love that. I think he would be a great friend to Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards. Even though we'll basically just see him as a rock if it comes out to be true. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it overall. I just wish The Last of Us won. But then it's tough because I love Succession overall. And I think a lot of those wins were long waited. And that's typically what the Emmys do. The final seasons when they finally deliver everything and give everything to them. So it made sense.
All right. Andrew Seif, it seems that right now the Oscar for Best Actor is between Cillian Murphy and Paul Giamatti, and the race for Best Actress is between Emma Stone and Lily Gladstone. If you were to predict the winners now, who would it be? I'm going Cillian all the way. I think Paul Giamatti has 100% become the second favorite. Like, he's definitely by far the number two.
And if he won, I wouldn't be mad. I think it's long awaited and it's great.
I wouldn't be mad, but I would feel
you'd be disappointed.
I'd feel like, okay. Because it's one of those, it's a career award. And Paul Giamatti has certainly given an excellent performance in The Holdovers. I love The Holdovers. I came out of The Holdovers. I told you, you're going to love The Holdovers. We're going to be watching this movie every fucking Christmas. And I did. I showed it to my parents when I was back home. But it's the performance that is being nominated. Cillian Murphy like blows everyone out of the water.
Yeah. And that's my thing. Cillian he's not my favorite performance of last year, but he is like out of the ones that will be nominated, he should win. He should win. 100%. He's in every frame of Oppenheimer, basically. For all 3 hours that it is. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Killian. I think especially if Oppenheimer is just taking home fucking everything, then there should be no reason that he does not win. Going to Best Actress though, I think it's a coin toss. I don't know. Like I'm gonna go Emma Stone. I think she's gonna win. That was my favorite female performance of last year.
I will
Lily
be a very
Gladstone.
Gladstone if Emma Stone wins.
Yeah. And Lily was my second favorite performance of last year. And if she wins, I will not be mad. Because Lily Gladstone, I thought gave the best performance. She did circles around De Niro and DiCaprio. And that's tough to do. They're two of the best actors that ever lived. So my only thing is I don't see Killers performing well in every other category.
Yeah.
And I see at least Poor Things picking up like potentially production design if Barbie doesn't get it, and then maybe even script. So it's like it's those buildups that I look at, or even just nominations. I mean, if Killers of the Flower Moon underperforms in nominations, then
yeah.
But it's a coin toss on that one.
All right, what's next?
Andrew Steve, what are your thoughts on Johnny Depp directing the film Modi starring Al Pacino? I don't know what this is. Do you?
I have never heard of it. This is the first time I'm hearing about it, so I don't have many thoughts. Also, I've never seen. I know he just made a movie that I don't know if it was actually released, but it made some festivals like this past year. I have never seen, at least that I'm aware, I've never seen Johnny Depp direct, so I don't have anything to be trepidatious of, to be fearful of. But because I've never seen him direct, I also don't have any reason to be excited. I mean, starring Al Pacino, though, that's a good sign, because these days he doesn't sign up for just about anything. All right. Gico Pete, thoughts on the news that Paramount potentially finally making a live-action Danny Phantom movie if you grew up with a cartoon. So I've never watched like the whole of it. I don't know that I've seen the first episode. I don't know that I don't think I've ever seen the finale, but I watched a lot of the show. I was a big fan of the show. So I'm into it. Who would you cast as Danny Phantom? I pick Asher Angel. Also, since we're talking about the TED show, Georgia Wiggum should play his sister Jazz. So like I said, I watched a ton of the show. Apart from Danny and like his two best friends, I don't remember particularly like any character.
I remember
in the
Vlad.
show, so I can't give
Vlad Plasma.
I remember the name, but I can't.
He's the evil one with like the big hair and the cape. And...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Him get like a big actor to play that one. But okay, so here's my thing on this. They have done live action Nickelodeon movies and they suck. 99% of them. So is this a theater movie or is this going on their streaming service? Because if we're getting another Very Odd Parents live action, I don't want it. Danny Phantom.
Or another Ben 10.
Yeah, or another Ben 10. But I do like the pick of Asher Angel. I think he'd be great. I'd like to see him come into this role. I don't really care as long as the movie's good. Danny Phantom was like my fucking shit. I watched every episode. I still sometimes watch the damn show. The theme song's great. It's a great concept. So, and you know what kind of director I'd like to see do this? Like if they wanted to go big movie and stuff, I'd want to see James Wan do it. Ghost.
Oh, I was going to say David F. Sandberg, just because.
Or David F. Sandberg. He was the other one I was thinking too, but now he's doing that Until Dawn thing, so I don't know if his schedule would work.
You know who would also really work in this context?
Who?
And I don't know that we've seen them play with horror, but it'd be interesting to see them add that mix into their usual recipe. The guys who just did Dungeons and Dragons and the Game Night directors.
Yeah, John Francis Daly. Yeah,
I agree.
And the
other guy.
the other guy.
The other guy. All right, what's next?
Are you guys talking about recognizing Georgia Wingham, who is Shea Wingham's daughter, by the way?
From Punisher okay, she 2? Is.
Did you recognize that Max Burkholder, who played Young John, was also Ethan Hawke's son from The Purge and the kid who missed from Daddy Daycare? Yes, I did see this.
I never saw the original Purge, so I don't know. Daddy Daycare? Is that
the one with Eddie Murphy? Do you ever see it?
Oh, never seen it. I know what it is, but I've never seen it.
There you go. Yeah, he plays one of the kids.
All right. Eric Thorpe reviews. I have no idea how much of a thing this is, but thoughts on the rumor that Ryan Gosling may be the DCU's. There's no.
Just insert the gif of him winning that award. Like,
yeah, just
no. No.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Ryan Gosling is thinking when he sees the rumors. All right, what's next, Zach?
Thoughts on Tatiana Maslany saying the possibility of She-Hulk season 2 being unlikely due to the budget? Do you think we'll see the character again? We will absolutely see the character again. I think the season 2 thing is true. I think they originally planned to do one. I think there was even pre-production on it, but once Bob Iger came back and said, these budgets got to change. And I think that's one of the bigger reasons why She-Hulk season 2 is not going to happen. But we'll see her. I think we'll end up seeing her, and probably if they ever do a Hulk movie, or honestly, like, weirdly enough, couldn't she maybe show up in Daredevil? Not this Daredevil season, but maybe in another future one or something like that. I don't know. I just want more Tatiana Maslany in the MCU because she's the best part about that entire fucking show. So
yeah, 100%. All right, penultimate question because we've just about passed the time. Jacoby P, I saw this question on your pal Sean Chandler's podcast, but if you were in Feige's shoes with the criticism about the MCU recently releasing too much content, what projects would you keep, cut, or merge or rework? This is cool because I got home. I was in the shower from the gym and I was like listening to that video. And I'm like, this is actually okay. So phase 4 and phase 5. And I saw what Sean had to say about some of my favorite projects. And honestly, while it didn't work, I was like, I can see that point.
So we got to keep, cut, merge / rework. Okay. So yes, do you want me to share the list? I have a whole list right here.
Yes, go for it.
I'll share my
Let's
screen.
see it like on screen.
Okay, so this is everything that's been announced or
okay
for the most part. So Echo's already done.
So no, I'm talking about the stuff we've seen so far, not even what's coming.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was.
That's the thing. Hang on, I'll get the list. Phase 4. Okay. Let's do it through Wikipedia.
Okay, and then share it for me because I'm blind.
Yeah. Share. Let's start with phase 4. All right, so phase 4, I would Black Widow. I would integrate a lot of Black Widow into Hawkeye.
Yep.
Also, the villain in Black Widow, while it is Taskmaster, I wouldn't have Dreykov. Dreykov died, and I would have Kingpin as a villain. And the widows, because the more I see of Kingpin, and he's here, and he's always been here, and he knows of Yelena, he knows about the widows and all that, that is like a crime syndicate that the widows would see a threat in. So to me, you add Kingpin into that mix, and he's the guy that, like, Black Widow, oh shit, I have to protect him from my sisters. I think that's interesting. You then immediately feed into Hawkeye and get the Elena storyline, get the Kingpin storyline. And so now that immediately ties into Echo. That immediately ties into the upcoming Daredevil. Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings, I keep. Eternals, I keep. Maybe have the Thunderbolts come out right after Eternals, because supposedly there's a connection there. Actually, put in Falcon and Winter Soldier there after Eternals or right before Eternals, and you have Yelena in the Black Widow, in Shang-Chi, you have Kingpin, then you have Falcon and Winter Soldier, you have Eternals, you have the Thunderbolts bringing all that together.
Yep.
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I keep. Thor Love and Thunder, not the popular opinion, but I keep. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, work some of the kinks in there. In retrospect, especially, I feel even stronger than I did with the same feelings going into the film. So let's rework that, but I keep it. Spider-Man No Way Home, 100% you keep. Like, there's no question. WandaVision you keep. Loki you keep. What If you keep. We talked about Hawkeye. Moon Knight, you could tie it in a stronger way to the Eternals, to Shang-Chi even. I think that's always interesting. She-Hulk. I think you can take away She-Hulk. Honestly, I even thought of, let's add Kingpin to the She-Hulk show because it also ties to Daredevil, but I don't even know what I would have Kingpin do on a She-Hulk show. So
let me know if you need anything.
I'm not even saying like I'm not even saying that She-Hulk the character, I don't want her in the MCU. I'm not saying that, but the show itself, I don't know why I keep that. Ms. Marvel, you can put Ms. Marvel right after Shang-Chi, connect that in a stronger way. The Marvels, again, I said in my review, because I like the Marvels, but you can definitely rework a lot of that, but tie it stronger to the Ms. Marvel thing. We lost the screen, so let me bring up Phase 5. Phase 5 we haven't seen a lot of, though. We have Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I keep it, because I like it more than most. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's also too early to say whether we rework Quantumania or not, because are they still going with Kang? Are they changing the villain? Like, we don't know. But as of right now, I'm keeping Ant-Man, I'm keeping Guardians, I'm keeping the Marvels, and everything else we haven't seen. As far as shows are concerned, again, what if
Secret Invasion? I fucking rework. I fucking rework the shit out of that. I chop it up. I fucking crunch it up. That becomes a Captain Marvel 2.
Secret Invasion.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's a Captain Marvel 2, and then do the like Marvels.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Echo.
I would rework it. I'd rework it.
I'd rework it, but I don't know.
You know what I would have done with Echo? Here's what I would have done. I would have combined her with another street level hero and made their journey somewhat closer. Maybe Daredevil. I was kind of thinking Punisher.
You know what? I just had an idea. I just had an idea because I said you connect Moon Knight with Eternals. My first thought when I pressed play on Echo was, holy shit, this is an Eternals show? So there's enough of vague, not even connections, but similarities there between the Native American like mythology that they built. Tie that into Moon Knight. And by proxy, those tie into Eternals because you're dealing with gods and with deities and with faiths and beliefs. The Eternals is all about that. Those are all the gods in all the religions that we have. They built, they shaped our world. So tie into that with Echo. I'm not saying it would overall make Echo a better show, but all those ideas would be inherently more interesting and immediately makes us think of the rest of the MCU and how it ties together. Secret Invasion, I like what you said about it being the Marvels. I would maybe have had it as Sean himself suggested this, but as the Avengers movie that we're missing. And from then, if you have a Secret Invasion, let's say in 2022, maybe even in 2021, after Black Widow, after Hawkeye, after Echo, after we have all the pieces in place for the Thunderbolts, you have an Avengers movie that, again, tears them apart. And now none of them can trust each other. So that's why Val sees it that, okay, I have to bring the Thunderbolts in because we don't have an Avengers. That's how I can crawl out of my hole into the world. So yeah, I think that works. What else do you got?
Honestly, this is like one of the few times that you and me are basically in agreement with everything.
Amazing.
But I also think you and me are weird. You and me like everything. You and me, for the most part, enjoy everything in Phase 4 and 5. So
that's true. We are Marvel shows.
Yeah, apparently. So, someone told me that karma's a bitch, you mofo. You're gonna die. Because I liked
over-liking something Marvel?
Yeah, more than the Beekeeper.
Wait, what did you like more than the Beekeeper? Echo?
I mean, I kind of liked them similarly, but I didn't call it dumb and stupid fun. That's why, because I called the Beekeeper stupid fun.
Holy shit! That is very aggressive,
right?
All right. Yeah. Final question, because we ran over. Music question from GKOP. Since Green Day's new album Saviors came out recently, which I still haven't listened to it, I need to. What is your favorite song from them off the top of your head? Mine is Jesus of Suburbia. Off the top of my head, it's got to be Boulevard of Broken Dreams or 21 Guns. Like, those are the... When I think Green Day, those are the songs I like. Yeah, 21 Guns, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. There are others, American Idiot, all that shit, but like those are the two for me. Zach?
American Idiot. It's the cliche one, but 21 Guns is great. So
yeah, it's a really good song. Wake Me Up When September Ends is a classic as well. But yeah, all right, everyone. Those are all the questions for this episode. I know we still have a lot of questions to answer. Keep them, resubmit them again next week.
Or send them as a super chat next week. Then they're automatically going to get answered.
Or as a tip link, because that way YouTube doesn't keep 30% of your supports. So thank you so much for watching us. After this, ladies and gentlemen, 2 more shows until the one window show, until the American version of the show. I need to take Cody Rhodes show. You don't know who Cody Rhodes is.
I do.
I need to take
the
Cody.
wrestler.
Oh, okay, cool. I need to take a Cody Rhodes because his nickname is the American Nightmare, so that's the gimmick I'll be living up to when I'm there. And then I'll get arrested because I love that nickname so much. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. And we're very excited. The show we're doing together is going to fall on. So today was 75, 76, 77. It's going to be at show 78.
Perfect.
But the most ambitious crossover is coming in like 2 weeks. Thank you so much, everyone,
this is
for
like
watching.
When Timmy Turner and Jimmy Neutron teamed up.
Oh my God, when Timmy Turner and Danny Phantom teamed up, because they're by the same creator.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. See you next week. And you already know, but I'm going to say it again. Until then, love each other and love the movies.